So if you stay up to date on new music, you know a couple weeks ago that Black dropped his new album, Since I Have a Lover. I've been listening to it a lot, and this song right here is one of my favorite songs from the album. So this song is going to be the main inspiration for the beat we're creating today. Shout out to the two producers right here that made this beat. Let's go. So to start this one off, I have a sample that I pulled in from Splice. This is actually a sample that I found a while back. I always just download like random samples if I'm looking for a vocal for a specific beat and I hear something else that I like that I might want to use later on. I just go ahead and download it. So I'm going to let you hear this first. What we're really going to do is just take like the vocal from it. I'm going to cut out everything else and we're going to go ahead and layer a piano behind this. But just imagine this is just going to be used for the vocal. Here's what it sounds like by itself. So I went ahead and chose 130 for the BPM. All we need to do is stretch the sample so it fits. I'm going to go with a 16 bar loop for this. So I'm going to just double click right here. Then I'm going to go to time right here and bring this out to 16 bars, which is going to be right here. Then we'll change this to stretch right here so it stays in the same pitch and key that we currently have, which we could change later. Usually on like a sample, it'll be stemmed out at the end where it'd be like the vocal and the bass and everything separately. For this one, it's not, so we're definitely gonna have to just do it this way. And let's go maybe like a 3-second. Let's bring the mix down. Go something like this, just a little bit of reverb to give it some space. So for the piano, I went into my Gloom Analog Lab bank and I brought up piano 6. Then I threw some EQ on it. I'm cutting out a lot of the low end and a whole bunch of the high end. I want this to be a little bit of a darker piano. Then I threw this reverb on it. I need to scale highlight G, I think it was G sharp minor. Yeah. So let's go over here, let's go back in, and let's go right over here, view, scale highlighting. What are we in? We're at D minor right here, so G sharp minor. We'll just right click. So we need to follow the root notes that we hear in that sample. The bass changes every bar, right? On 1, then on 2, then on 3, then on 4. So we just need to find the notes that it's playing, copy those, and then build out chords from that. There we go. Let's drop these down, make sure they sound good. We can go ahead and turn the EQ back on. And then you can test it with the bass to make sure it sounds right. And then if we take the EQ off, it's going to clash, but you'll see what I'm saying. Cut this one out, right? So we know that it's the right notes. So that's cool. We'll go ahead, delete this, and we'll just go with the piano for right now. So let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll just skip every other note and try to build out like a triad and see what happens. Probably bring the B up. Yeah, that already sounds better. But a triad here. Maybe a 7th. So we have the root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. So we have a 7th chord. If we get rid of this. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Then let's take the root notes here, hold shift, down 1 octave, we'll layer them in like that. See what this sounds like now. Yeah. That sounds really good. I think I'm gonna layer another piano on this, maybe like keyscape to give it like a really like rich low end that we might process. I don't really layer pianos a lot, but I'm definitely gonna try it right now. All right, so inside of keyscape, I'm gonna go with cinematic. I always use this one. It just always sounds good. Color shift this down. It's like a darker piano. I think the beat we're pulling inspiration from is in D minor, I wanna say. So let's go for something a little bit different, but like closer. So we'll just go in here to these two right here. And then I'll hit transpose and we'll go -4 like that. Let's also take this and duplicate it, make unique, and bring it up an octave. So if we're down 4, we need to technically go up 12 semitones fully. So we need to go to 800, and that will be up by 12. That sounds good. We could add like a lead to this, maybe like a little pad, but it might get a little too busy. So probably just like a lead and then get into like the bass and the drums. Right now, this is sounding real good though. This is like a perfect foundation for this type of beat. On that second vocal that we pitched up, I put some EQ on it, then a reverb, and then some shaper box. I have it panning from left to right at about 25%. And then I have the width over here brought up to 121 and then 25% on the mix as well. And this is just gonna move it from left to right and make it sound a little bit wider. So for the drums, I got 808.2 and Rim 1 loaded up from my Broken Hearts drum kit, then Kick 15 from my Resupply drum kit. Then I have this hi-hat right here and this open hat right here loaded in from Splice. Then on Splice, the last thing I found was this hi-hat loop right here. So we'll just drag that in over here, get it on time, and then we'll go ahead and get our hi-hats loaded in. All right, so for this hi-hat, we're gonna make sure that we're in cell right here, and then we're gonna count over 1, 2, 3, and on the 3 is where we're gonna place it like this, so we can go ahead and drag this out. And then we're just gonna copy that over, so we'll put it here, here, and here. And then to add a little bit of bounce, let's actually throw a note right here. But we could probably bring it up. And then maybe bring the velocity down. Could actually move this down here, one note. Now let's unmute the hi-hat loop right here. Then we'll just bring this down right here and see what these sound like together. Let's just bring this over here. Then we need to get this rim going. Let's see this go right here. See if I can drop it first time. Oh, nope. There we go. All right, now for the 808, we're gonna have it kind of cut off sometimes. So we need to go over here, go into envelope, bring down the attack, sustain all the way up, and then release all the way down. Yeah, that goes crazy. Let's go into the kick right here. I'm turning this all the way up. I have a soft clipper on the master, so it'll be all right. Ooh, maybe like that. The bounce of this just sounds perfect. It definitely is pulling inspiration from that song, as mentioned. But that's what it is, because if you hear that song, when that hook drops in and Don Toliver comes in, that same bounce is still there. But I feel like the whole thing just changes. Like, it's, bruh, if you haven't heard that song, go listen to it and wait for that hook to drop. I feel like just one lead, a whole bunch of reverb on it would probably sound pretty good. Probably go inside the Gloom Analog Lab Bank or Loveless. It really depends. But I'm going to try to find one and then throw like a bunch of reverb on it and try to come up with the lead. So I found the perfect lead 6 right here from my Loveless Analog Lab Bank. I got this EQ curve on it right here. Then, of course, some reverb. The lead was only 2 notes, but it added the perfect final touch for this. I'm going to arrange this real quick and then I'll play the full beat at the end. If you did make it this far, I really appreciate you watching. If you want any of my kits used in today's video, there'll be a link to those in the description. Also, make sure to join the Discord. There's a link to that in the description. Let's hear the full beat.